Good evening. Welcome to Focus Tonight. I'm Rashmi Saxena. In our program this evening, we are going to discuss children we have met in the writings of Charles Dickens, Shakespeare, and recently in Bollywood's Slumdog Millionaire. But we also see them every day in flesh and blood on our streets, tapping car window panes, trying to sell their wares or beg for money, rummaging in garbage heaps for food and trash they can sell, rag pickers, shoe shine boys, tea boys at dhabas. All of them are part of India's 18 million street children. India is home to the world's largest population of street children. Most of them are between the age of 5 and 17 years, surviving on the streets of cities, deprived of family care and protection. Street life is rough and risky. They are physically and sexually abused, exploited, are malnourished, harassed by the police and victims of substance abuse. Though the government has made child labor illegal, it has not been able to end it. Why and how do children find themselves on the streets of major cities in developing countries? Is there a mafia that runs them as a commercial enterprise? Have government policies and the efforts of NGOs made a difference to the lives of street children? We dedicate our evening's discussion to these children on the occasion of the International Day for Street Children observed today. In the studio, we have with us Mohammad Aftab, child rights activist, and Sanjay Gupta, director of Chetna, that works for street children. Welcome to Focus Tonight. Of course, street children, we see them all the time. In fact, I feel that we see them so much that a large part of the population is almost becoming insensitive to the fact that they are all around us. And International Day, as we all know, just does, bring them into focus and brings the spotlight on them. But I know people like Aftab, you are from Save the Child, the NGO, and also you have been working very closely with these children. My first question to Aftab, what have you noticed or experienced? Why do these children actually come onto the streets? What brings them there?
Yeah, Rashmi, as you said, first of all, that's the main idea behind observing the day on street children. It is basically to bring attention and focus on the issues of working and children on the street. And that unfortunately we as a society somewhere used to, as you said, that we are very used to now, that we say, okay, it's a part and parcel of our life. That's very unfortunate. Now the reason why the children on the street, there are many reasons. There is not one single reason. There are many reasons. Many of the children, very recently we have done one survey study on street children in Delhi, which we are going to launch as a study on 28th of April. But just I give you that what we have got from that study, some of the things I would like to share here with the audience. One is that the poverty. Many times we say that poverty one of the reasons, but there are many other reasons. There are many children who have run away from their home because there was the domestic violence they have suffered.
Oh, I see.
From in the family. There are many children who really suffered violence in the schools, and that's why they have choose not to go to school but to run away from the schools and from the family, and now they are on the street. Poverty is one of the reasons. And migrations. There are many people who are migrating from their natives and coming, ended up in the city like Delhi in search of livelihood. And many times children along with parents, they are on the street. Whenever you go, you can see there are many children on the street with their family. They sleep in the open sky. On the roadside you can see, or the so many now over bridges in Delhi, you can see all major road crossing, you will find that the children and their family are sleeping under open sky. So there are many reasons of children being on the street. They don't have shelters, they don't have, their parents have not really adequate livelihood support, employments, and that's ended up unfortunate. As you said in your introduction, that it is rough and harsh and risky. So
yes, I would like to ask Sanjay, do you think the prime reason for children on the street, I mean, they are pushed by economic compulsion by their own parents, or are majority of them runaway children?
I'll say, Rashmiji, like this, that there are certain push and pull factors. Okay. Not only push factor, there are also push and pull factors. Push factors are like they are hardship, like Aftab has said, poverty is one reason, broken family is another reason. So there are push factors which says, child, you cannot live in the family, you have to come out and get inside the city. There are also pull factors like the attraction in the city, which attracts children like anything. And there are many other attractions, like there are lots of construction which is going on in the cities, and which also attracts family and thereby the children along. You might have seen in the city like Noida and Delhi, wherever there is a work of metros and other areas, you will find parents are working as the labor and children are begging on the street.
But then do they actually fit into the definition of street children? Because street children, I thought, and as we commonly understand, are children for whom the street is home.
No, there is also a little, like, if we define it, there are three categories where we put children, street and working children. First category is called children of street. Children who are living on streets, their street is their home, they come on street and they live on the street. Second is children on street. Children on street are children who are having parental contact, but they spend most of their time on the streets. And third category is abandoned and orphan children, which have absolutely no family contact.
Yeah. After another interesting aspect, something which really needs to be probed, and I think many have tried to do it, but probably not been able to really expose this, is that there is a mafia which runs these children, especially when it comes to begging. Am I right or wrong there?
No, we also keep hearing all those things. Yes, there are some elements, yes, there are. It is not as it seems that it is a spontaneous, it is not. There are certain things you will think that it's organized in some way. And that you will see you can see the trend that there are the job given to. It is not just for the begging, even for the work that you will see the children selling magazines or other goods. It is not that there are somebody who is providing that kind of job, and that's a network is working. And of course, employing children below 14 years is illegal. So it is somewhere that some mafia, some organized agency is definitely working behind it. But that's not only that all children who are on the street or off the street, it is not just because of the mafia is working. There is also economics, broken houses, or there are many other issues, as Sanjay said. But definitely we see there are organized trend on that. Whether it is begging or children selling on the street, we find that there are some.
Sanjay, you know, I know for sure, and I have seen this in my career as a journalist, that a number of children are so-called also rescued and taken to homes, but they run away from these homes. They somehow seem to be quite used to the fact that they are on streets, whether you call them ragamuffins, you call them street urchins, you can call them by whatever name. Why does that happen?
You see, if you look into the life of a street child, when the child is in the family setup, he or she may be having a very cordial kind of environment and very caring environment, and parents are there. When the child spent 7 to 8 days or 10 days on the street, he or she, so to say, experiences all the odds on the streets. Even there are many ranging. So, case of sodomy, then substance abuse, then the brutally beaten by a police or any other person, maybe used by the adults for their purpose. So any kind of this thing they feel. In the second element is, though I say with this thing that children on the street feel very hardship life, but there also is an element of freedom. which they enjoy on the street. There is no timetable. They can sleep anytime. They can wake up anytime. They can go anywhere. There is no boundaries. So once the children are, developing those habits where there is a hardship and there is a freedom, when you try to take them up to the rehabilitation centers, they are not able to adjust themselves according to the centers
to their disciplined
life again.
Yes,
and
that you were saying something.
I want to add what Sanjay is saying. That is one part of that. Okay, they are not able to adjust. But the other hard reality is also at the same time, I would like to say that the life in the home is not rosy as we think.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when you will go and see the condition, the kind of services in the home, children's home so-called, a child is getting, it is worse. They feel sometimes that the street is better, safe than the many of the children's home. So it is very important until or unless we really make children's home, rehabilitation center safer for children, more caring, more protective, until that the children will feel like, okay, this is my place where I can live, where the people who are the caregivers are really taking care of us. They provide the professional service. Where are that?
But
this is something very sad part, and that's why many of the stories you may have hearing, children run away from the home because they're not really safe in that. There are many incidences.
Maybe they have to see what they experience there, what they experience also on the streets.
Yes. In many cases it's worse. It's the more institutionalized, it's more silent, it's happening in the
and they have no place to complain.
Yes, so and that's sometimes really the kind of service. Many of the children's home are not a professional service provider. That's the things. They don't know how to deal with the children. In any case, these are the children on difficult circumstances. They are run away. They are facing a very harsh life on the street. What they believe, they expect the services when it comes to the home, so-called rescue after rescue. Getting a professional service, soothing them, that feeling them, okay, you are now in the safe place. You can enjoy your life now, childhood here. There are the professional caregivers to you, counseling is there, follow-up is there, what Sanjay is also. That are the things in most of the houses, children's homes, a child is not getting. And they really somehow they feel that, okay, it's better to be on the street than in horrible homes.
Few points which I would like to add to Aftab's this thing, that in many of the cases, if you take the example of status of homes in Delhi, you would find that most of the transfer of the officers who are taking care of they are all those who are either the fringe of retirement, or they are about to retire, or sometimes it is like a punishment post for them. And if you are not getting into fit anything, you are just transferred to the superintendent of the home.
So that really affects the quality
of the home, and they are not able to take care of the children in that well.
Let's share our experiences with Priya, who's on the phone line with us. She's from Save the Child NGO. Priya, welcome to our show. I wanted to ask you one question, that when you talk to children who are on the street, are they actually happy with their plight and what they are doing, or are they looking for a better life?
Well, of course, like any child, the children on the street do look for a better life. They do have dreams. Just because they are living on the street doesn't mean that, they don't think of a better life for themselves. So, of course, they have dreams. They would want to, have some form of education. They would like to become doctors and, whatever. I mean, they are exposed to cinema as well. They are exposed to people around them, dressed up smart. We see them every day on the streets. Yeah, so it's of course they have dreams, and so they would want a better life for them.
So Priya, when you try and organize them, or what exactly is the message you take to them when you work with them?
Well, I'm sure Aftab would have probably touched on this in his response. But if I can add to that,